this game. I think who are favorites is the Seahawks. I do have the Seahawks winning. They just played very aggressive. They played very. I have a theory that they're gonna like this game could be a runaway where Seattle just smacks them. I can see that happening. And then Patriots just give up. But I see. I don't want to give 7 to 10 points. That's what I have. 7, 10, 13. Somewhere around there. It won't be a whooping, and then it's gonna be close for majority of the game, I think. And then towards the end, Seattle, they just put the nail on the coffin, and they're like, your boy was totally right, 100% spot on. Definitely don't go back to the video and see the parts where I got wrong or the parts I left off that made me look bad. But we're gonna be discussing the Super Bowl post bowl. What we thought about it. Had a little bit of everything in it. Had, the action, the drama, people getting married in halftime. What do we think about the Benito Ball? People really want to bring that up, but we're going to be discussing what went right for the Seahawks, what led them to this impressive win, what's already happening. Things are already turning. Right after the bowl ended, things are already switching tides of what could happen. I do feel like that Thanos at the end game, pop up the clip right here.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
We're going to be discussing it. What certain things are shifting on what the season could look like at the start of next next couple months when the new season starts. We're gonna be breaking it down, what went right for the Seahawks and how they got this win. I mean, what has to be one of the biggest factors in the Seahawks winning is that defense, that elite D, or what that defense. What I don't even know if I can say this. What they call themselves, the dark side. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I can say that, to be honest, but that's what they call themselves, the dark side. What they were able to do against the Patriots, keep them scoreless through 3 quarters. They recorded 6 sacks, forced 3 turnovers, and sealed it with a 45-yard pick six. I mean, if you're a true football connoisseur, I consider myself a true football fan, but you gotta admit, both defenses were playing out of their mind. A lot of punts. The punters, special team, they definitely got their money's worth. They definitely got a lot of TV time because through the first 3 quarters, there was a lot of punting, a lot of field goals. They got their money's worth, but the defense of the Seahawks were able to be triumphant. They were able to make plays, make stops, and that's what we always talked about, is that this team was always a step ahead. Like, there's when they're thinking about tiers. I had like the Patriots, A. I had them at A, but I definitely had Seahawks. Makes sense. S tier. Had them a tier above, and that's what happened. That defense was unforgiving, especially against the offensive line against the Patriots. Definitely exposed that, which was crazy to see. It took them a little while. Like I said, maybe it was they had to listen to that Benito Bowl, get themselves hyped up for that second quarter, because I think it was second quarter, second half, but get them from that third quarter, that snooze fest, and then get them to the fourth where action definitely picked up, and it was just crazy. It was very exciting towards the end. That's where I definitely lost my voice. That first half, it was a little snooze fest. I'm not gonna lie, but for those true football connoisseurs that enjoy the elite defense, your boy's trying to see people get hit, but it was a big factor. I was thinking about it before Kenneth Walker. We're gonna discuss him a little bit later. Who, if it wasn't him popping off towards the end of the game, it could have been. I was like, maybe someone on the defensive side could have won MVP, but I don't think I'm mad at Kenneth Walker winning MVP, but definitely the dark side, the dark side. They definitely deserved a big shout out. How do you split the Super Bowl MVP between all of them? You give them a chunk, but definitely was the biggest factor for the Seahawks winning this game. On to that elite defense of the Seattle Seahawks, we got to discuss what Mike Macdonald was able to do with disguising blitzes and creating pressure packages against Drake Maye, because one factor we discussed in the last video is that Drake Maye's that offensive line was going to have to play his best, because it was lacking the whole playoff run, because 15 sacks through 3 games. You add on 6 sacks in this game, ties for a Super Bowl record for most sacks a quarterback has went through. Last one being Joe Burrow, I think 2021. So this kid has been hit, but maybe that's why he was able to get to this place. But that offensive line did let him down. Mike Macdonald was able to expose that to the T. Just straight up was not even a factor. So he got sacked 6 times, and then he got hit 11 times. Like, I felt bad for Drake, man. I'm not even a Patriots fan, but the kid, I think he's like 23. He's younger than me, and playing in the biggest game of his career. So I know he will be back. Patriots will be back to be playing important football at the end of December, the start of January. This is gonna be. I'm pretty sure this is the resurgence. The rebuild is done apparently. I remember people were making the memes about the Chiefs, praying for the Chiefs dynasty to end already. No more Chiefs, no, and then just for the Patriots to come back and take that reign. But I'm not saying a dynasty or anything like that, but I think they have a good little squad for the Patriots. You definitely got to fix the offensive line to get them more experience. I definitely felt bad for them. For if I was Drake May, it's off to Cancun. It's off to Cancun. Throw away your TV, throw away your phone for like a week or two until something else happens. But definitely give credit to Mike McDonald for what he was able to do and creating those different packages and just giving confidence to his boys that the offensive line is not as experienced and not as good as this defense. Show them on the brightest of games, and they definitely showed out. One man we have to discuss about is the man of the hour, man of the match, actually, Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, and what he was able to do for his team. Like I said in my prediction video, he was gonna have to be a factor in this game, and what better factor than be an MVP? He was a consistent offensive presence for the Seattle Seahawks. Like I said, elite defense by both sides of the ball, so there wasn't much end zone being shown, but consistent presence. He already hit the 100-yard mark by halftime. And like I said, that Benito Bowl, it had the Seahawks rolling in that second half because he was able to end the game with 161 total yards. That includes his receiving yards and his rushing yards. Rushing yards was 135 for 27 carries. But it was just great to see him. And like I said, one of those tides they're already switching. He is an unrestricted free agent. So after being Super Bowl MVP, being a big factor in that playoffs, he's about to get a bag. There's been discussions about the coach already and him saying this is where I want to be. So they're gonna get a deal done, but they're already saying where he could end up. Who's willing to throw the most bag for Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker? But it's great to see that he was able to get his shine, able to get that MVP. He definitely deserved it, and he was that man of the match. If it wasn't for Kenneth Walker's late game heroics, could the Super Bowl MVP may have been field goal kicker Jason Myers? He did set the record for most field goals in a Super Bowl with 5. You got to give him credit because he was putting up the points. Like I said, there was not a lot of end zone being shown. It was a lot of elite defenses. So the Seahawks couldn't get the ball all the way to the end, or towards the end. Towards the end, they definitely were able to let it rip. And but that Jason Myers was putting that team on his back, and they weren't even. I think one was 60, the other one 41. It was a little bit of windiness. So could he have won MVP if it wasn't for Kenneth Walker late game heroics? You got to give it to him because throughout the quarters, it was what after quarter one, 3-0, and then after quarter two, 9-0, and then after quarter three, 12-0, and then like I said, the fourth quarter where it definitely went off, where Sam Darnold was able to get the ball to AJ Barner to sort of put the nail on the coffin because that after 3 possessions. There we go, 3 possessions. If you didn't score all game, you were gonna come back in the fourth. I mean, say that about the Patriots, but then again, that was with Mr. Brady when they had Mr. Brady. I mean, Tom Brady was there. You couldn't get him to suit up for a couple drives to get back in this, but you got to give credit also to Jason Myers and the special teams. They had a lot of TV time. You had to give them credit as well for doing those things. That's not easy. 60, 40 yards is not easy at all. So could he have won MVP if it wasn't for Kenneth Walker's late game heroics? You guys let me know in the comments down below. One man we haven't really mentioned yet in this video when discussing the success of the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, the playoffs, this season. We talked about Kenneth Walker. We talked about Mike McDonald. We talked about the dark side. We talked about that elite Seattle defense. One man that we haven't mentioned yet that last year didn't have the best of performances in the playoffs with a different team who came into this team with little expectation, little no. I don't want to say no expectation. We got to talk about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, or why he's him. Like I said, last year in the playoffs, he was with Minnesota, 14 wins. I believe they were the first seed. Someone fact check that. Someone fact check that. But 14 wins, got bounced, I believe, in the first round, and then Minnesota were iffy on paying him, giving him a big contract. Like we don't know if it was just a 1 year thing because at that point he was with 4 different teams. He was backup in North Carolina. He was a backup with the 49ers, and then Minnesota didn't want to take a chance on him. So he basically got cut. They're like, we have this rookie. We had not this rookie. We have this dude on a rookie contract. So we're gonna stick with him. And then Seattle, you're like, we're gonna give you a chance. We're gonna give you this contract. And I'm pretty sure he went above and beyond. He went above and beyond their expectations, getting them a bowl. Act like you've been here before. I said it in the previous video. Do what makes you comfortable. Do what got you here. And that definitely was the case for Sam Darnold. Fake it until you make it because he was able to stay composed in the biggest game of his career because he was pressured 41% of the time when he dropped back. But like I said, he was able to stay composed. He was able to finish the game with no turnovers and put the nail on the coffin with that late touchdown to AJ Barner, which essentially sealed the game. It was 19-0 at that point, and that's 3 possessions. I mean, Patriots in the Super Bowl coming back, but they didn't have Mr. Brady. Mr. Brady's not suited up. He's in a booth. They weren't gonna come back. And it's looking at the stats now after the game, you could definitely tell it was more so quality over quantity when you're comparing team stats and also player stats because Sam Darnold, he ended off the game, which you're comparing quarterback stats. Sam Darnold, 19 for 38 for 202 yards and 1 touchdown. To Drake Mays, 27 to 43, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, which is going to play a big factor because, like I said, it was more so quality over quantity because certain stats Patriots had a lot. They had, I mean, not a lot, but they had better stats in certain situations, but you still end up losing the game by a milestone. I'm pretty sure the game was already gone by that fourth quarter because we also got to talk about stats like total yards. Patriots win that 331 to Seahawks 310. And then also first downs. Patriots have 20 to Seattle's 18. And even time of possession, 33 minutes, 33 minutes and 11 seconds for the Patriots to Seattle's 26 and 49. But the biggest stats that influenced this game were the turnovers, were the sacks, because Seattle had 0 turnovers, the Patriots 3. And then sacks recorded, Seattle recorded 6 sacks, the Patriots 1. So, like I said, quality over quantity. You can have all these yards, and we do know that essentially it was just garbage time because for the longest they were just going back and forth, punts, and then in the case for Seattle, field goals, and they were able to end this game. Who wanted it more? Sam Darnold definitely wanted it more. It's just a great story to tell. A guy, this is the first ever quarterback to win a Super Bowl, being being a part of 5 different teams. He's from California, I believe. What better way to end this season? And like I said, there are already certain tides being formed. Will Kenneth Walker resign? And they already lost their offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator will be the head coach for Sin City itself, the Las Vegas Raiders, which is not a bad job because they have the first overall pick. And when you're discussing about, Hispanic heritage, when you're talking about showing off the Hispanic culture, you have Benito, and then you have a certain Cuban that's in Indiana right now that's about to get drafted. So that's Raiders job looking pretty nice. So they already lose their offensive coordinator, the Seattle Seahawks, and Kenneth Walker's unrestricted free agent. What does it look like? I mean, there's a team, we talked about Kenneth Walker being an unrestricted free agent. There's a certain team that's being rumored, that could throw some money along his way. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. Do they keep Kenneth Walker? Where does Seattle rank when it comes to the start of next season? Can this be the start of the Seattle dynasty? What does Sam Darnold look like? But that's my, post-game, post-Super Bowl video. What did you guys think of the Super Bowl? How did you enjoy it? Was it, like I said, for me, it was more so a little snooze fest. First quarter, second quarter, that the Benito Bowl woke me up, and then third quarter, you saw a little bit more momentum, and that fourth quarter was definitely something worth watching. It's just great to see. I got it right. Like I just want to say, I got it right. I had Seattle, and I did have a prediction that they could blow them out, and I did say that, but I said 2 possessions. But what did you guys think of that? I'm probably gonna. What's the next video that's gonna be on here? It's definitely now more so basketball is gonna take influence. So I mean, we don't have no more football games, but we got the All-Star. The All-Star break to look forward to. You guys let me know. I mean, the 3-point contest looks pretty good. You gotta give it that. 3-point contest looks pretty good. But we're gonna be discussing off-season things. Who gets signed here, this, that, the third. There's definitely gonna still be football content being made on the channel, but I think we're also gonna cover back. And then, like I said, the World Cup is coming up soon. We might cover that. That's why we have the jersey up there. But what did you guys think of the Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe because we are going a little bit up. We are making a little bit of noise when I look at the numbers. So it's just great to see. Really do appreciate everybody taking the time to leave a like, comment right here, subscribe. But I don't know when you're gonna see me next. I really don't know. But like I said, All-Star Week. Who wants an All-Star Weekend reaction video? Oh my God. But that's it from me, Aziel. I'll definitely see you in the next video. Bye.